Yo ho ho, the bottle Saki. How's it going, my fellow Homo sapiens? It's your boy, the legendary Hadou, and I'm coming at you with my Lair of Darkness budget build. Alright, so this is my Lair of Darkness virus budget build. So some of the weaknesses of this deck is going to be cards like Master Restrict, Fog King, cards that prevent you from Tribute Summon, and even Imperial Order, because we do run spell heavy. We're going to need that field spell and other cards that destroy things. So things like Twin Twisters. We're going to play a lot of spell and trap cards in this deck. So if they're getting 2 cards plus the field spell, it really hurts. Now, some of the good things about this deck is going to be controlling your opponent's side of the field, getting in their hand, and just getting information, understanding what plays they're getting ready to do, and forcing your opponent to neg. Now, some of the positives of this deck, some of the cards that would help with this deck are going to be the virus cards, cards that tribute for effect. So all the virus cards are going to definitely be a positive. Cards like Enemy Controller, that's really going to help. Share the Pain, really going to help. Now, some of the negatives of this deck are the inconsistencies with the deck, the lack of draw power. Those 2 things are really going to slow this deck down. So let's go ahead and get into this deck build. So I tested this deck last night in my tournament. I got top 8, and it went pretty well. I lost against Pendulums, and I lost against Trickstar in top 8. So let's go ahead and look at it. So we have our boss monster, Diabolus. So Diabolus basically can't be tribute by your opponent card effects. Can't be tribute by your opponent. So there's no kaiju for that. And it can't be targeted by your opponent and their card effects. But not just that, you can tribute a dark monster on the field and have your opponent to take a card in their hand and put it to the top of the deck or the bottom of the deck. And we run 3 of the Diabolus. He is the boss monster. Not just that, if it's in the hand or field and one of your monsters are tribute, you can special summon. So if you tribute a monster, or your opponent tribute a monster, or tribute one of your monsters, he can special summon from the graveyard or hand. Now, there is a ruling out there. If you tribute your opponent monster, he does not special summon out, unfortunately. Then we have Lilith, Lady of the Mint. She has a quick effect. She can tribute a dark monster, reveal 3 normal trap cards. Your opponent choose one, and it's set, and the other 2 are shuffled back into your deck. When this card is normal summon, it goes down to 1,000. But if it's special summon, she has her 2,000. So she is really, really awesome. The best thing about Lilith of Lady of the Mint is that she is a quick effect. So if you got the field spell on the field and opponent does something, they go for that big monster, they do something, you can instantly tribute off. That's really, really awesome. We run 3 Lady of the Laments. Then we have the Wicked Warden. He's really awesome. 1,700 attack. Now, basically what he does is you can discard him from your hand and add a Lair of Darkness field spell, or when this card is normal summon, you can tribute him off to draw a card, or if you tribute off another dark monster, you can add a dark monster with 2,000 or more defense from your deck. Really, really awesome. Really, really great card. The only issue I have with warding is that it's not a quick effect. So a lot of times you normal summon, they can Vader him or something of that nature to really kind of slow things down, or even hit splash. So we're going to run 3 of him. He's really awesome. And then we have 1 Duke Shade. Basically what she does is she can tribute as many dark monsters on the field, and she gains, I believe, 500 for each dark monster she tributes. And she has 2,000 defense, and when she's summoned, you can add a level 5 or higher dark monster from your graveyard back to your hand. She's pretty awesome. We run her at 1. It's basically a kaiju. We get the field spell, tribute off one of our opponent's monsters, special summon her out. And then we have our Skarm. Skarm is really awesome. She's a 2,000 beater. She's a 2,000 butt. And basically, when she's sent to the graveyard, you can search your deck at the end phase for a level 3 Fiend. So we can go for our Lady of Laments. Really, really awesome. We have her at 1. We did have her at 2, but we bumped her down to 1 for this build. Now we into the traps. So we have our Eradicator Virus. Basically, you tribute a 2,500 or more attack monster, and you call spell or trap cards. If you call it right, for example, if it's spells, you can destroy all spells on the field and in their hand, and each spell they draw is going to get sent to the graveyard for the next 3 turns. We run 1. We have Full Force Virus, really awesome. Tribute a monster with 2,000 or more defense. Look at your opponent hand and all monsters on their side of the field, and all monsters that's 1,500 or less defense are destroyed for the next 3 turns. Awesome. So any monster they draw that's 1,500 or less defense are destroyed. Really awesome. Great. We run 2. Really great card. Then we have Deck Devastation. Really awesome. Tribute a monster with 2,000 or more attack. Look at your opponent hand and all monsters on their field. All monsters that are 1,500 or less are destroyed, and any monsters that they will draw for the next 3 turns that's 1,500 or less are destroyed also. Really awesome. This right here really kind of controls the game. And we run 2 of those. We run 2 Mind Crush. And basically, because we get a lot of information from our opponent hand. Then we have Back to the Front. Back to the Front is really awesome because we can get our Lilith out of the graveyard. We can get our boss monster out of the graveyard. It allows us to continue to have something on the field to protect us because we don't run monster heavy at all. We run roughly around 11 monsters. So we have 3 Back to the Fronts, and it's a normal trap card, so we're able to search it with Lady of the Myth. Now we have Lair of Darkness. Really awesome. This card here, basically what it does, it turns all monsters on the field dark. It allows you to tribute 1 of your opponent dark monsters once per turn. Really awesome. And for who I think player turn it is, you get tokens on their side of the field. So if it's my opponent turn, how many cards that was tribute, they're going to get tokens on their side of the field. And if it's my turn, how many cards I tribute will allow me to get those tokens. And those tokens are 1,000 attack and 1,000 defense. Really strong card. This is your powerhouse card here. You have to run 3. We run our 3 terraformings. And then we have our draw cards. We have our Lair of Darkness. Basically, draw 2 cards, banish a dark monster. I really didn't like this at first, but a lot of people were saying, hey, at least try it out. And you know what? Right now, I'm actually loving this Lair of Darkness. So we have 3 Lair of Darkness. We have our Upstart Goblin. For that extra draw, yes, your opponent gains 1,000. I don't like allow my opponent gain 1,000, but hey, sometimes you got to. Then we have our One Day of Peace, a really good card. We both draw a card, but no one takes damage till your next turn. So burn and things of that nature just does not hurt you. Really good card, another draw card. And then we come down to Reasoning. Basically, your opponent calls a number. If they call it right, it's sent to the graveyard. If it called it wrong, then it's special summon. And the thing about Lair of Darkness Structure Deck, all the monsters are basically random. You have a 4, you have a 3, you have a level 8. So it's really hard to call it right. Now, yes, you do mill some things like your virus cards, but the main thing here is getting your monsters on the field so you can start your engines. And then we have our Monster Gate. Basically, tribute off a monster and you mill until you have a monster that you can special summon. So usually we use this in tributing off a token or tributing off our opponent monster and special summoning one from our deck. We have our Regeki, a Foolish Burial to get our Darkest Diabolus in the graveyard, a Monster Reborn. And right now we have 3 open spots. We're just filled those 3 open spots with Pot of Duality. I'm not really feeling it right now, but this is where we have some wiggle room. I'm going to be trying some other things here, but that's those 3 open spots here. Pot of Duality really didn't do much last night in the tournament. I guess it helped me win maybe almost 1 match. I didn't have anything. I needed the field spell, and it helped me get the field spell. But we will definitely be taking this out. When we do side out, we definitely side out the Pot of Duality. Now let's look at the side deck. So for our side deck, we're running 2 Crush Card Viruses. Those are for the Blue Eyes. Big decks you're going against with really big beaters. We have the 2 enemy controllers. We have the Dark Light. Dark Light is okay, but I'm thinking I'm going to take the Dark Lights out and put Starlight Road in. I notice a lot of people are starting to play Twin Twisters, cards that destroy mass, cards in the back row. So I'm thinking about putting Starlight Road in. We have our 3 Bottomless Trap Holes. And once again, this can easily be sided out, taken out and put something else in. We have our 3 dimensional barriers. The dimensional barriers really came in clutch last night and really helped me win some matches. It really did kind of help me slow down a Pendulum player. So that was awesome. And then we have that 3rd Mind Crush. We might put that 3rd Mind Crush in the deck. Mind Crush is so strong right now. And then we have our 2 Twin Twisters. And for the extra deck, there's really nothing in there right now. You could probably side something. You could probably put something in like a Link Spider and a Proxy Dragon, or maybe even a Skull Dad. But that's all I have for you today. That's my budget build of this Lair of Darkness structure deck. I'm really loving it right now. Like I said, I made it top 8. I could have done a little bit better, but it wasn't that horrible. But that's all I have for you today. Please rate, subscribe, comment, and share. It really helps the channel. Thanks for watching. Matane.